Buenas Micronesia, especially Marianas. I'm Troy Torres with Kandit News, here to give you the latest information about Typhoon Hagibis. I don't know if I'm saying it right, and also to place a couple of live phone calls so that we can get more information regarding certain tributaries of this storm preparation and emergency response. The governor has declared condition of readiness 3. Which includes the partial activation of the Emergency Operations Center and the Joint Information Center. The effectiveness of the Joint Information Center is that it coordinates information coming out of the government of Guam, Joint Region Marianas, and the private sector as well throughout this Hagibis period. The partial activation of the Emergency Operations Center for now has meant that the Department of Public Works and the mayors are out in the villages cleaning areas that are flood prone so that they can avoid flooding as much as possible, and pre-staging equipment for emergency response during and after the storm. Now, the latest from the Joint Typhoon Warning Center and the National Weather Service shows that the storm has intensified to 115 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds. That it is looking at both agencies are looking at the storm passing north of Saipan, just north of Saipan, around midnight tonight, making its closest point of approach to Andersen Air Force Base, Guam, sometime around 1 a.m. tomorrow morning. And according to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, Hagibis is undergoing extreme intensification. There's an actual term that they use, extreme rapid intensification. So earlier today, while we were at the heavy weather briefing with Chip Guard, lead meteorologist with the National Weather Service, the typhoon had maximum sustained winds of 100 miles per hour. Mr. Guard said that the typhoon was going to intensify rapidly. He was right. By the time we were out of that heavy weather briefing, the forecast had it at 105 miles per hour, and then about an hour later, 115 miles per hour, according to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, and now according to National Weather Service as well. The declaration of Core 3 has not triggered the closure of the government of Guam or of public schools. That happens with the declaration of Core 2. It's unclear at this time if and when the governor is going to declare Core 2, but if that does happen, then the Department of Education, according to John Fernandez, is ready to do what's necessary to open or to prepare for the opening of emergency shelters. And according to Jenna Blas, the Department of Public Works also is ready to do its part to help in the opening of the emergency shelters, the running of them, and also the busing of people from areas throughout the island into those emergency shelters, if that is something that the governor decides to do. There are some releases that have come out. First, there was a release earlier today that a hearing scheduled for Thursday by Senator Therese Terlahi has been postponed to some other time. There's also information coming out of the Department of Education. Let me just open this up. Aspire at PC Lujan Elementary School is canceled. DOE announces that the after-school Aspire program at PC Lujan Elementary School will be canceled today, October 7th. The cancellation is due to concerns over potential flooding. The cancellation is for today only. So if you have students or kids who would normally attend the after-school program Aspire at PC Lujan Elementary School, there is no after-school care today, and it's because of potential flooding. At least there was something else. GDOE's TFAP food distribution is postponed also due to the weather. Department of Education Distribution Recipient Agency for the Emergency Food Assistance Program under the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food and Nutrition Service Food Distribution Program is notifying the public that the USDA food commodities distribution will be closed tomorrow, Tuesday, October 8th. The postponement is due to inclement weather. Distribution will resume as regularly scheduled on October 15 from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. and from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. If you want to call and find out more about this program or what's happening, please call GDOE's Food and Nutrition Services at 300-2491 or 300-2463, or 300-2490, or 300-2497. And we got some information earlier today that a flight that was originating from Honolulu, picking up passengers here, and then heading over to Japan had been canceled because, well, the storm is kind of in the way of Hawaii and Guam. So we do have questions on whether there have been other flight cancellations, or what this is looking like for the tourists who are here and those residents who had plans to go off island. Let's call Jenna Blas or let's just call the Joint Information Center and see what's up. Hi, Crystal. This is Troy. Hello. Hafaday, Crystal. Hey, we're wondering. We understand that one flight was canceled this morning, and it's because it originated from Hawaii, and it was supposed to pick up passengers in Guam and head to Japan. Are we tracking any flight cancellations or any postponements or anything like that?
Can I call Linda first? I'm not tracking anything right now.
Not tracking anything right now. Okay. And
Let
are
me
we?
call Rolanda. I haven't spoken to her yet.
Rolanda, okay. And are we expecting? I know there's a partial activation of the Joint Information Center, right?
Mm-hmm. And the EOC, yes.
And the EOC. Are we expecting any word from the governor on the declaration of condition of readiness 2, if that is going to be declared?
We're going to receive another briefing later this afternoon.
Is that open to the public?
We'll have a better picture of the storm's course.
Is that open to the public, that briefing?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. And
but as soon as the Core 2 is declared, you'll be notified.
do we know if the governor's declaration of condition of readiness 3 also set into motion the price gouging statutes?
It's a good question. I can follow up on that.
Thank you very much, Crystal. So on flight cancellations, on the price gouging stuff, and of course we want to find out about emergency shelters and things like that.
Right.
But I'm going to guess you guys are already working on all that information and stuff, right?
Sir.
Thank you for all you do, Crystal. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So that was Crystal Paco with the Joint Information Center. She's with the governor's office. Whenever there's an activation of the Joint Information Center, the governor's office sends the person who's in charge of the Joint Information Center is the governor's director of communications, but they work in shifts, so this might be Crystal's shift to be the Joint Information Coordinator right now. Hold on, let me check who's that. It's the homeless people walking by. Yeah. Right. And they will need emergency shelter. Hey, that's quite unnecessary. All right, we are working here. Yumiko, jeez, my goodness. Before I let you guys go, let me check National Weather Service, and then I'll look at your comments to see if you have any questions that you want me to ask officials. So this is at 1:08 p.m. the National Weather Service released its public cyclone advisory. By the way, we're in a tropical storm warning. That was the crux of that advisory, is that we're now in a tropical storm warning. All that means is that damaging winds between 39 miles per hour and 73 miles per hour are expected within the next few hours, by tonight. According to the latest information from Joint Typhoon Warning Center and National Weather Service, this typhoon is moving north, is going to move and pass through closest north of Saipan. And the reason that's not good news at all for, especially for Saipan and Tinian, is that the typhoon force winds surrounding what is turning out to be a significant eye wall go out a radius of 30 miles. Uh, Destructive and damaging winds go out a radius of between 105 to 130 miles from the center of the storm. And that's so that places, yeah, there it is. That places Guam, Rota, Tinian, and Saipan, and of course the islands north of Saipan, in varying degrees of danger from storm force winds and rains. According to Ship Guard from the National Weather Service, we are looking at an inundation of rain, and he said he was also concerned about lightning as well. Now, as of 1 p.m., Typhoon Hagibis was located 300 miles east-northeast of Guam, 255 miles east-northeast of Rota, 215 miles east of Tinian, 205 miles east of Saipan, 255 miles southeast of Alamagan, 275 miles southeast of Pagan, and 315 miles southeast of Agrihen. The storm, or the typhoon, is moving west. So it's no longer moving west-northwest. It's now, again, moving west. And it has consistently been holding at 18 miles per hour. Its forward movement, its forward track. They do expect it to make a slight turn toward the west-northwest with a slight decrease in forward speed tonight and Tuesday. Maximum sustained winds have increased to 115 miles per hour. Hagibis is forecast to intensify through tonight. And I was wrong about the force of winds coming out from the center of the storm. It's increased. So the storm is bigger now. I'm just looking at this right now from this update. Typhoon force winds extend outward from the center up to 50 miles. That's 50. Tropical storm force winds extend outward from the center up to 175 miles. Guam, according to information tracking with the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, let me just bring this up. Oh, wait, sorry, it's not on that one. It's on this one, the graphic. (161 nautical miles). Hold on, let me do the conversion. It's my converter. Convert. Distance. No. Where's distance? Length. Okay. From nautical miles. Son of a bitch. From nautical miles to mile. Done. 161 from Anderson Air Force Base. 185 miles. So at the closest point of approach, according to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center's warning number 8, which was issued at 300 Zulu is... Sorry. Having to convert all of this crap. It's not the easiest thing in the world. 1400 Zulu is midnight on Guam. So 300, it was issued a little bit ago, okay? It was issued a little bit ago. They are forecasting that Typhoon Hagibis is closest point of approach from the center of the storm will be 185 miles from the center of the storm from Anderson Air Force Base up in the north. And what we have from the National Weather Service is that tropical storm force winds extend out 175 miles from the center of the storm. It really is, this is just a hit or miss kind of thing. And we heard from Ship Guard earlier today that any slight movement to the north or the south means a lot of different things, varying things for any of the islands of the Marianas. And so everyone is encouraged to please pay attention to the news and stay informed of what's coming out from the Joint Information Center, the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, National Weather Service. Let me see. Well, anyway, I think that's it. Well, let me see what your questions and comments may be. Hi, Chalu. George Delgado Nation says, holy F me, where has Kandit been my whole life with this real news updates? We're like the CNN, eh? Yeah. Chris Saunders asks, who comes up with these names and why? Apparently, it's the Japan Meteorological Association that does, and it rotates among the languages of the Pacific. Joseph Tidegui says, Candid News, raw, real, and informative. Thank you very much. If we were to take out one of those adjectives, that would sound like a porno. Lester Jolene Akaninuk says, Troy, you can be the next weatherman. No, well, that belongs to Barbara Brown, who is the new HNIC in town when it comes to weather. Rianne Rayshai says, thank you, Candid News, and Troy for the updates. You're very welcome. Brandy, you're welcome. James Howard says, prepared for battle. We hope so. And one of the things that Jenna Blas was saying this morning is, with or without conditions of readiness being declared by the governor, it is super important for everyone to be prepared, because it's not the condition of readiness that matters, it's the weather that matters. And the weather is not looking all too good through tonight for Guam, and especially for our brothers and sisters in Saipan and Tinian. So, and of course, those who are living in the islands north of Saipan. So prayers for them, positive thoughts going that way. They seem to have, when I looked at the CNMI's Homeland Security Office, they have their shit together. And so good for them and Governor Ralph Torres, who seem to be battle ready and know how to deal with things like that. There is a concern that there still are several people living in tents from Mangkut, I think it was. And so, you know, they have some logistical issues that they have to deal with there. But as I understand it, Governor Ralph Torres is an effective leader when it comes to typhoon preparation. So good for the people of the CNMI. Hafaday Carl Blas, all the way from California. J.G. Taiminglo says it's the governor. And then people are laughing at that. Hafaday Joe, Edward Lee says, judging by the infrared view, this thing may intensify even further. This guy's a weather expert, okay? I believe it will become a Category 5 in 36 hours. I hope it doesn't slow down. Be careful and stay safe, Saipan, Tinian, and the CNMI. According to the information from the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, within 24 hours, this thing is going to reach 130 knots, which puts it above the 135 mile per hour maximum sustained winds that would be classified as a super typhoon. So within 24 hours, this thing is going to become a super typhoon, according to information from the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. J.D. Taminglo says, prayers and love para todos y Islas Marianas. George Delgado Nation says, Pat, this is better than woohoo, right? Ha ha. I don't know what that means. Rose and Pete Italic say, be safe, everyone. One of Candid's owners, Johnny Rosario, says, please share with everyone on Saipan. Thank you very much. Yes, please share this information with all of our brothers and sisters in Saipan, Tinians, and Luta. Aaliyah Santana says hello from Saipan 670. Well, Hafaday. How do you say the other word for hello? I think it's tiro. How say it again?
I think it's tiro.
Tiro? Yeah. Hafaday, it's on tiro. Irene Santos says, wow, it got bigger. Yes, the storm is bigger. And we just saw that in information from NWS just a couple minutes ago. Norina Dorsey says, have they posted anything about Dodea schools or Agata Johnson middle schools? Please keep us posted. Thank you for reminding me what my second phone call was supposed to be. Hold the line. Oh, I think I remember it.
Phone at 671-483-0736. Thanks.
Please record your message after the...
Well, Christian Hodge, Public Affairs Officer for Joint Region Marianas, might be watching, and probably that's why he's not answering his phone. But earlier today, Mr. Hodge was a gentleman and provided Kandit with an update from Joint Region Marianas. He says Joint Region Marianas is working closely with the government of Guam, the government of the CNMI, and Guam Homeland Security and Civil Defense on awareness efforts and preparation for Typhoon Hagibis. The safety and security of our service members, dependents, and our DoD civilian and contract employees are our top priorities. Well, Mr. Hodge, please send information to our viewers because they're asking questions regarding the activities at Joint Region Marianas and Dodea schools, and I'm going to guess they just haven't received that information yet from Joint Region, and that's why they're asking. We did send him an email back asking what condition of readiness Joint Region Marianas is in for each of Guam, Luta, Tinians, and Saipan. And then we asked the FEMA warehouse with stocks for typhoon response. We asked him if he knows anything about the stocks being depleted for another national response and whether there are enough supplies to respond to the Marianas' potential needs from Hagibis. We're waiting. That was 54 minutes ago. We're waiting for information from Joint Region Marianas about that. Though it might not be Joint Region Marianas that provides that, that might be FEMA directly or the Joint Information Center. We have a graphic. Hold on, one sec. Let's open this up. Oh, it's not opening correctly. It's a GIF. Hold on. Go ahead and cast to my screen. Here is a weather graphic of how Typhoon Hagibis looks right now. This is infrared taken from satellite imagery, if I'm not mistaken, with the different colors that shows different or varying levels of blah, blah, blah. Wind speed, varying levels of wind speed and MSLP, and I have no idea what that means, just so you all know, because I'm not Barbara Brown. Barbara would know it, though. Let me get back to your comments and questions. Cynthia Tudela says, thank you for the update. Stay safe, everyone. Stay strong, Marianas. Thank you. You're welcome, Joanne Fullerton. You're welcome, Vincent Cruz, who says, thank you, Kandit Familia, for all you do. Be safe. Thank you very much. Hi, Marlani. Michelle is laughing about Barbara Brown. Yes, we are a little funny that way. Thank you all. We will have updates for you throughout this afternoon. And starting at 6 p.m., Kandit will be rolling live and providing updates on a steady stream from 6 p.m. on to however late that we're able to stay up. We will be live at this desk. Sometimes we will be live and we will not be at this desk because we will be in the production room gathering information. And then when updates come, we'll come back to the desk. So if you want, starting at 6 p.m. tonight, you can stay tuned. You can put your computer or your phone or whatever on our Facebook Live and let it hold there, or you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll get the notification as soon as we go live at 6 p.m. And you can cast that to your screen or whatever and put it in the background, and you'll be able to hear the information live, just right here from our studios. Thank you all very much. Stay safe. Please stay off the roads if you don't need to be on the road, because it's getting wet and the roads are getting dangerous. If you see an area on the road where there's water and you can't see the road itself, try to find another route, because you don't know how deep that water is. It's kind of hard to tell. Yes, typhoons are named by the Japan Meteorological Agency based on a database organized by the World Meteorological Organization's Tropical Cyclone Program, which also compiles the list of Atlantic hurricane names. This name came from the Philippines Weather Organization. Thank you very much, Barbara Brown. Barbara Brown joining us remotely to provide that information. We appreciate it very much. Hafadeh Zantiro, blessings to everybody as we approach and prepare for this typhoon. God bless you all.